So guys, you watching this video, serious question. If you had a Nerf gun to your head right now and that person asked you, does summer league matter? What would you say? Bronny James so far in his summer league has scored 4 points. He scored 3 points, and he just finished his summer league debut in Vegas scoring 8 points. Now, Robert Dillingham, who was the number 8th pick in the 2024 NBA draft, he played in his summer league debut, and he only finished with 4 points in that game. Zachary Risachet, the number 1 pick in the 2024 NBA draft, he played in his first game in the NBA Summer League, and he finished with 18 points. Alex Sarr, the 2nd pick, he finished with only 12 points, shooting 33% from the field. And Reed Shepard, who is the 3rd pick in the 2024 NBA draft, he finished with over 20 points. Guys, if a player scores 25 points in the summer league, why do we hype up the player? Why do we say that he's the next star of the league? Why do we talk about how underrated that player is? Why he shouldn't have went higher? This, that, and the third. But if a player scores 5 or less points in a summer league basketball game, why do we scrutinize that player? Why do we say he's trash? Why do we say he's a bust no matter what pick he was in the NBA draft? Why do we say so many negative things about a player? Guys, like I said, you watching this video, bro, does summer league matter? Guys, we're on the road to 50,000 subscribers. If you guys can do me a quick little favor, it takes 2 seconds to subscribe and like the video. It helps the channel out and the YouTube algorithm to push this video out even more. Now, my personal opinion, I personally don't really think that summer league matters all too much, at least for me, and I think a lot of other people can probably agree to this as well. I think summer league is just a good gauge to just see how a player, how an NBA player is interacting with his peers. Does he belong on the court? Are they showing any signs of weaknesses? Are they showing any signs of strengths? A lot of these NBA GMs and coaches, they already know who's going to be on an NBA roster, so they kind of want to see how these rookies, how these second, third year players can hold their own when they're playing in these types of settings. Can they play defense? Can they stay on their feet? Are they showing a level of IQ that is higher than all the other players on the floor? Are they being a team player? Can they score? Can they shoot the ball? Can they cut? Can they listen to their coach and run a play? Can they do all these little things? See, I personally would compare NBA Summer League and the NBA to something along the lines of, if you've ever played at a rec, if you ever played at your local basketball gym, you guys know, but there's always these players who just think they're playing in the NBA finals at these recs. They're fouling. They feel like they have something to prove to their peers at the local gym who nobody cares about, who they're all going back to their regular 9-to-5 job that they probably hate, or they're probably working at Amazon. Like, that's what they do. And they're trying to make a point to the rest of their friends and the people at that gym, bro. To me, that is what Summer League is. The NBA, in comparison to that, is probably something along the like an organized high school basketball game where you actually have a coach, you have people in the stands, you're more likely to not actually running plays. You can't just do whatever you want, or your coach is most likely going to take you out. That's kind of how I would compare Summer League. The NBA Summer League each summer is just a bunch of players that are trying to make it a point that they can make it to the NBA. A lot of these guys, I'm not going to say they're selfish, because obviously you have to showcase that you have what it takes to play in the league. You can score the ball. Each player is really on their own type of path as it pertains to how the Summer League is and how they're all going to play. But a lot of the Summer League is very disorganized. A lot of players aren't running the right plays. They shoot a lot of dumb shots, if we're going to be honest. I mean, the amount of fast-break 3-point shots that I've seen in the Summer League is honestly crazy, bro. Like, sometimes it's very cringy to watch, and more often than not, they're not going to be doing that if they're actually in the NBA. And a lot of these guys are really just going one-on-one ISO. They're trying to score. Like, it's really just disorganized type of basketball. That is why whenever I'm watching these guys like Bronny, the Robs, the Zachary's, the Risachet's, like all these guys, I'm seeing the types of passes that they're making to the teammates that can't catch the ball. Are they shooting the ball at the right time? How engaged are they defensively? Can they come off a screen and take an appropriate 3-point shot or an elbow shot? Can you use these types of players in a play setting? To me, that's how you determine if an NBA player is going to translate well to the actual NBA. Players like Victor Wembanyama, Trae Young, Brandon Miller, all these guys, if you remember, they all struggled in the NBA Summer League. I remember Victor Wembanyama played his first game. He only finished with like 9 points, shot 2 for 13 from the field. Everybody was saying he's trash. Everybody was saying that he's a bust. Trae Young couldn't even make a 3 to save his life, couldn't make a shot to save his life. Brandon Miller could not stay on his feet, could not play defense. He was getting like close to 10 fouls a game. So many players, they struggle in the summer league, then they go on to actually play in the NBA where they're playing in a better setting, they're playing with better teammates, things are more organized, then they can really showcase what they can really do. So that's why I say that the summer league at the end of the day, yes, it's fun to watch, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Now let's talk about some of the players that you watching this video you probably care about. Let's start off with Bronny James. I mean, Bronny James, like I mentioned, he just finished his summer league debut in Vegas. He only finished with, I believe, 8 points in this game. But guys, I'm gonna be completely honest. Although he only scored 8 points, although he shot 3 for 13 from the field, in my personal opinion, this was actually the best game that I've seen from Bronny James. Not because of the amount of points that he scored. I mean, 8 is really nothing, but it's more on the fact that he was aggressive. He was engaged. He was actually taking shots. I believe the first 5 minutes of the game, he had already attempted like 5 shots. The game before that, he went 1 for 3, only attempting 3 shots in 30 minutes. But this game, in the first 5 minutes, he already had attempted 5. And I'm like, yes, Bronny, this is what people want to see. We don't care if you miss. After he went 2 for 5 in the first few minutes of the game, he finished with 3 for 13. Bronny, this is how we want you to play, bro. We don't need you just running back and forth for cardio. We don't want to see, one steal a game or this, that, bro. We want to see you. How are you going to engage yourself defensively, and how are you going to engage yourself offensively? Can you just take an open 3, bro? We don't care if you miss. We genuinely do not care if you miss. We just want you to be aggressive, engage yourself out there offensively. Don't just be out there for cardio. Take threes, take elbow jumpers, come off the screen, attack the basket, penetrate. Let them respect you as a rim penetrator and dish it off to your teammates. Play the right way, man. Everybody says this about Bronny, but, like I said, a lot of times he's really just out there and not really engaging himself. But this is what I want to see from Bronny, man. Robert Dillingham was another player that played in his summer league debut. He only finished with 4 points, 5 assists in this game. I personally saw a lot of potential with Robert Dillingham with his shot creation, his driving kicks. I think he was definitely taking a lot of makeable shots. He was just missing. The Minnesota Timberwolves has also mentioned that they want to engage Robert Dillingham straight out the gate. I know Rob is a rookie, and he's definitely going to have to take some time to get used to the physicality of an NBA game. I think you kind of saw that in this first game, but I'm personally not worried. I think I saw a lot of potential. I saw a lot of good things with Robert Dillingham. I think he's still a guy that can get his shot off at any moment. He's a guy that you have to respect on all parts of the floor. Like I mentioned, he was taking a lot of shots that he normally just misses. And I've seen Robert Dillingham struggle last year at the Global Jam tournament out there in Canada back in July. A lot of people had so much to say about Rob, saying he was weak, he couldn't do this, he's not a team player, he's this and that. And then he went on to the actual season at Kentucky, and look what he did, bro. Shooting close to 45% from 3. Showcased that he was the best scorer in college. It was too easy for him, this, that. He's a good point guard. So I'm not worried about Robert Dillingham at all. I still think he's going to be a star out there in the league. He went to the right situation. A lot of the passes he was making to his teammates, they weren't ready for it. And, that shows me the IQ that, once he's playing with better teammates, they're going to be ready for those passes. They're going to be ready for those dump offs, those lobs. And like I said, Robert's going to be straight. I think he just needs to improve, like I mentioned before, just on his physical strength. And it's also his defense. I think a lot of times he can play a little bit too tight on defense to where he gets blown by a lot of times. So if he can just learn to stay on his feet, maybe just back off just a little bit. I know coach is probably telling him to pressure the ball, but he just needs to improve on his lateral quickness. I think that'll definitely help him be a more peskier defender. And then, as he grows in the league, he's going to get more physically strong out there. So, like I said, a lot to like about Robert Dillingham. Reed Shepard probably had the best summer league debut out of every player that I've seen so far. I think the first thing I noticed that he didn't even look too small out there. He definitely was a lot taller than I thought. He didn't look, like a liability on either side of the floor. He looked very, very comfortable. I mean, guys, this man Reed Shepard, this kid is a straight hooper. Straight hooper. Every single type of skill that he has, technical, soft skills, whatever you want to call it, they're all transferable. He plays the right way. He can shoot the ball. Like I've been saying, man, if you can shoot the ball, it's going to translate to all levels. And now this kid ISO, and now you got Reed Shepard going ISO on defenders, bro. This man Reed Shepard is going to be cold. I'm very interested to see just how the Houston Rockets are going to use him in their rotation. I know they still have Fred VanVleet and a lot of other dynamic players at that guard position. I know Amen Thompson, he can still play the point guard position. So like I said, I don't know how Reed Shepard is going to fit. I think you have to play him, bro. Reed Shepard is just too good to just be on the bench. I know it's only one sample size, and I know we said summer league doesn't matter even if you do good. But like I said, he just passed a lot of the eye tests. He passed a lot of the things that, you know, will translate when he does make it to the NBA. So nah, bro, you gotta play Reed, man. This kid is gonna be straight. And then finally, Zachary Ricochet and Alex Sarr. Zachary, the #1 pick. He finished with 18 points, 7 for 16 from the field. In my opinion, I think he looked pretty solid out there. Although he does move funny with his feet, I still think he had a pretty solid NBA Summer League debut. I know a lot of people do think that he is overrated, but guys, what are your expectations for Zachary? I know he's the #1 pick, but he's going to a situation where Trae Young is on his team, bro. Trae Young is a very ball dominant player. I don't think they're really expecting Zachary to go out there average 20 or 30 points a game. People don't really even talk about Zachary too much, but you know what comes with being a #1 pick. You definitely have to change a franchise in some way, shape, or form. Even though I don't really think Zachary is that type, I'm not going to write off Zachary this early on. Like I said, it's only one game and he hasn't even played the NBA. He still could be a star in the league. Who knows? I know he was more of a role player on his team out there in Europe. Who knows? Like I said, it's the NBA. You really never know what can happen. Alex Sarr did everything I expected him to do. 12 points, 4 for 12 from the field. Defensive player. He can block shots. Great mobility. I think he definitely has a lot of potential. Unfortunately, he is playing on the Wizards, and you know, who cares about going to the Wizards? But guys, you watching this video, like I said, be honest in the comment section down below. Does summer league matter? I want to know your honest opinions about this question. Let me know your thoughts. Like I mentioned, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 50K. Like the video, do all that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.